This evening, Professor Sidorov is giving Tom Davenport his fourth Russian lesson.
Zdrasty, Tom.
Zdrasty, Professor Sidorov.
Tonight, I want to deal first with two verbs which we must be careful not to confuse with each other. First, the verb to listen or to listen to.
To listen to is слушать.
Yes, слушать. To listen to, pronounce слушать. Translate, please. I listen to the radio.
Я слушаю радио.
Yes, the radio is радио. Pronounce радио. Я слушаю радио. The verb слушать conjugates like знать, to know. Translate, are you listening?
Вы слушаете?
They are not listening.
Они не слушают.
Yes, we listen.
Мы слушаем.
Now for the second verb, meaning to hear.
To hear is слышать.
Yes, слышать, to hear. Pronounce слышать.
While to listen to is слушать. Pronounce слушать.
Yes, the two infinitives are identical except for a single letter. Слушать, to listen to, has U, where слышать, to hear, has I.
But the really confusing thing is that they conjugate differently.
Yes, I hear is я слышу. Pronounce я слышу. You, familiar, here is ты слышишь. Pronounce ты слышишь. He hears and she hears are
Он слышит и она слышит. We hear is
мы слышим. You hear, вы слышите. They hear,
они слышат.
Translate, please, we hear.
Мы слышим.
We do not listen.
Мы не слушаем.
Yes, they do not hear.
Они не слышат.
It is necessary to listen.
Надо слушать.
Do you hear the telephone?
Вы слышите телефон.
What do you hear?
Что вы слышите?
I hear the telephone.
Я слышу телефон.
Что вы слышите?
Я слышу телефон.
Is it ringing now? Он звонит теперь. Теперь. Now. Pronounce теперь. Телефон звонит теперь?
Нет. Теперь телефон не звонит.
That's right. Now, you are listening to me. Is вы слушаете меня?
Меня means me.
Yes, меня. Pronounce меня. That brings us on to stage 2 of this evening's proceedings. The accusative of the personal pronoun. Меня, me, is the accusative of я, I.
The accusative is the case you use when a word is the direct object of a verb.
Yes,
Ah.
as in я слышу телефон, I hear the telephone. Telephone is in the accusative, which in the case of telephone happens to be the same as the nominative. Now, the accusative of ты, you, familiar, is тебя, pronounce тебя.
Тебя. Он, meaning he or it, and оно, meaning it, have
Его, him or it. It's spelled его, but the ge is pronounced as if it were a the.
его, him.
Say, I know him.
Я знаю его. And there's она, she or it.
Accusative, ее, her or it, pronounce ее.
Ее.
Say, I know her.
Я знаю ее.
Yes, he knows me.
Он знает меня.
He knows you, familiar.
Он знает тебя.
Yes. Does the professor know him?
Профессор знает его.
Mm-hmm. I hear her.
Я слышу ее.
Are you listening to her?
Вы слушаете ее.
Очень хорошо. Now, I want you to translate sequences of 3 short sentences. First, with a neuter noun. Here is the wireless. It is playing. We hear it. Here is the wireless.
Вот радио.
It is playing.
Оно играет.
We hear it.
Мы слышим его.
Хорошо. Вот радио. Оно играет. Мы слышим его. Now for a feminine noun. Here is the music. It is playing. We are listening to it. Here is the music.
Вот музыка.
It is playing.
Она играет.
We are listening to it.
Мы слушаем ее.
Хорошо. Вот музыка. Она играет. Мы слушаем ее. Now for a masculine noun. Here is the telephone. It is not working. We do not hear it. Here is the telephone.
Вот телефон.
It is not working.
Он не работает.
We do not hear it.
Мы не слышим его.
Хорошо. Вот телефон. Он не работает. Мы не слышим его.
Can I interrupt with a question on pronunciation?
Of course.
We here is мы слышим. It looks like мы слышим. But the ending seems to be pronounced shim, not shim.
Yes, just as in он слышит, he hears, and вы слышите, you hear. When the consonants ша and же are followed by e, that e is pronounced y. So you don't hear she and she, but she and zhi. Thus, in giraffe, a giraffe, it looks like giraffe.
But is pronounced giraffe.
Yes. Similarly, the word for chiffon, the material, looks like chiffon, but is pronounced chiffon.
Chiffon. Now I understand why you say он слышит, мы слышим, and вы слышите.
Now, let's get back to the accusative of the personal pronouns. We've still got to go through the plural ones. Мы, we, has accusative?
Нас, us.
Yes. They know us.
Они знают нас.
Вы, you, has accusative?
Вас, you.
We know you.
Мы знаем вас.
And finally, они, they, has accusative?
Их, them.
Yes. You know them.
Вы знаете их.
Do you hear us? Yes, we hear you.
Вы слышите нас? Да, мы слышим вас.
Do we know them? Yes, we know them well.
Мы знаем их? Да, мы их хорошо знаем.
There is a trombone. We hear it.
Вот тромбон. Мы слышим его.
There is a flute. They hear it.
Вот флейта. Они слышат ее.
Here is the piano. You hear it.
Вот пианино. Вы слышите его.
Here are the trombone and the flute.
Вот тромбон и флейта.
We listen to them.
Мы слушаем их.
Хорошо. Вот тромбон и флейта, мы слушаем их. Now I want to bring in a new word. Как, meaning how. To translate, I hear you speaking, say, I hear how you speak. Я слышу, как вы говорите.
Я слышу, как вы говорите.
Now translate, I hear him playing the piano.
Я слышу, как он играет на пианино.
Yes. Now I'll go over to the piano. Что вы слышите?
Я слышу, как вы играете на пианино.
Кто играет на пианино?
На пианино играет профессор Sidorov.
Do you hear me playing the piano? Вы слышите, как я играю на пианино?
Да, я слышу, как вы играете на пианино.
Вы слышите, как я играю на тромбоне?
Нет, вы играете не на тромбоне, а на пианино.
Yes, I'm playing not the trombone, but the piano. Я играю не на тромбоне, а на пианино. Что это?
Это флейта.
Yes, it's a flute. Do you know who's playing the flute? Вы знаете, кто играет на флейте?
Нет, я не знаю, кто играет на флейте.
It's Katya practicing in the next room. Say, we listen to Katya playing the flute.
Мы слушаем, как Катя играет на флейте.
Now we come to something which my pupils usually find surprising, though it's really very easy. How to translate the verb to have. I have a telephone is у меня телефон.
У меня телефон. Now, у is a preposition.
Yes, у is a preposition governing the genitive case. Меня is genitive of я, I.
But, Professor, I thought меня was accusative.
Well, don't complain about it. You're very lucky. The genitive of the personal pronouns is in each instance the same as the accusative, which we've just learned.
So, меня, тебя, его, and ее are all genitives as well as accusatives.
Yes, and so are нас, вас, and ich. Now, we shan't be concerned with the genitive case until next week, except in the phrases у меня, I have, у тебя, you familiar have, and so on.
What exactly does у mean?
It's impossible to give a single translation of the preposition u. For the moment, let's think of it as meaning in possession of. У меня телефон. In possession of me is a telephone. Let's say in my possession is a telephone. In other words,
I have a telephone. У меня телефон.
Yes. That's why the word telephone is in the nominative. Grammatically, it's not the object of any verb as it is in the English sentence, I have a telephone. It's the subject of the sentence, not the object. In my possession is a telephone. Now translate, we have a telephone.
У нас телефон.
Have you a wireless?
У вас радио.
I have a table in the room.
У меня стол в комнате.
Now for a new point. The pronouns of the third person always get the consonant N stuck on the beginning when they are governed by a preposition. So, he has a telephone is not у его телефон, but у него телефон. Do you hear the N?
Yes. У него телефон. He has a telephone.
Очень хорошо. У него телефон. It's the same with ее and их. They get an N as well after U. Translate, she has a telephone.
У нее телефон.
Have they a wireless in the room?
У них в комнате радио.
Yes. У них в комнате радио. Literally, in their possession in room radio. In other words, have they a wireless in the room? Translate, has she a room?
У нее комната.
Has he a telephone?
У него телефон.
Have they a house?
У них дом.
Now try these sequences. We have a piano. There it is. We listen to it. We have a piano.
У нас пианино.
There it is.
Вот оно.
We listen to it.
Мы слушаем его.
She has a wireless. It does not work. She does not listen to it. She has a wireless.
У нее радио.
It does not work.
Оно не работает.
She does not listen to it.
Она его не слушает.
Yes. I have a student. I know him well. He listens to me and works a lot. I have a student.
У меня студент.
I know him well.
Я его хорошо знаю.
He listens to me and works a lot.
Он меня слушает и много работает.
Yes. У меня студент. Я его хорошо знаю. Он меня слушает и много работает. Now, for another aspect of this difficult preposition «у». Besides meaning «I have», «у меня» can also mean «at my place», that is, at my house, in my room, and so on.
Like the French chez moi, in fact.
Yes. Translate, you are working at my place.
Вы работаете у меня.
Yes. You can also say, вы работаете у меня в комнате. Literally, you are working at my place in the room.
In other words, you work in my room.
Yes. And вы работаете у меня в доме means you are working in my house.
Is this the normal way of translating my, your, and so on?
Oh, no. There are special words for those which we'll get round to in due course. Now, these "u" phrases are rather elusive. At our place is only a very rough translation of "у нас." For instance, the word for Russia is Россия, pronounced Россия.
Россия.
A Russian might say «у нас в России» in such sentences as «у нас в России много работают». People work a lot in, the nearest I can get is, in this Russia of ours.
I see. У нас в России много работают.
Yes. As here, these "u" phrases often have a note of approval or affection and a kind of proprietary ring. I might say, У вас в Англии хорошо.
Life in this England of yours is good.
Yes, more or less. And if I say, вы у меня хорошо работаете, it doesn't have to mean you work well at my place, though it can mean that. It may simply mean that you work very well, as it were, under my affectionate supervision. У меня.
How nice of you to say so.
Yes. Don't forget, у профессора Sidorova надо много и хорошо работать.